take a few minutes now and talk about essential oil safety. In general, essential oils are regarded as safe to use for aromatherapy and therapeutic use. Nonetheless, safety is very important, and we need to be very careful and exercise caution when we use them. Keep in mind that it takes 80 cups of peppermint tea to equivalent of 1 drop of peppermint oil, so that's quite a bit. I was actually doing a radio interview, and I had a caller call in and tell me that he had heard that peppermint was good for digestion and he had acid reflux. So he went home with his peppermint essential oil, having no idea of how much to use. Now, using that same pharmacy drugstore mentality, he took out the teaspoon and he began to pour in the entire contents of a 5 ml bottle. He took it internally. He said he was writhing on the floor in pain, but while he was laughing and telling us the story, he did live to tell it. And he said, and by the way, I never had acid reflux again. But I would not want anyone to take that and go home and try it, because that certainly was way too much. So we need to make sure that when we use these oils, we respect their use. We understand that we only need a very little. In fact, less is always best, right? Less is more. Be sure to avoid using essential oils before going in a sun bath or a tanning booth, or using maybe in a sauna, because you want to be careful when you do that because of the heat. Also, you want to be careful, make sure that they don't get in your eyes. Now, if by chance you do splash some essential oils into your eye, you want to get some olive oil or maybe some milk and pour it directly into the eye to sort of begin to wash it out while you're trying to get the oil out. You want to make sure you get medical attention immediately. Also, you want to take precaution when you have your oils at home with children. We want to make sure that we never leave undiluted essential oils just close where babies or small children can get a hold of them. So please keep these out of reach. Also, we want to make sure that we never take essential oils internally unless we are under the advice of a medical practitioner or doctor, or someone who is qualified in knowing about how to use essential oils internally. Now, if by chance someone does ingest oil in your home, a child or someone, even a pet maybe, you want to make sure that they drink olive oil or something like that, milk, and induce vomiting. The olive oil will actually slow down the process of it being absorbed into the body. And so by drinking the olive oil, you're actually going to be diluting it. So never drink water. Water actually speeds up the absorption of the essential oils, so you don't want to do that. In this course, we are covering primarily using the oils topically or through inhalation as a vapor. So most essential oils are safe for use topically, but we definitely want to use a carrier oil when we do use them on our skin. So please follow the safety guidelines on your data sheets. Hot oils like cinnamon and clove, as you know, can burn the skin and cause skin irritation. So you want to definitely use a carrier oil. And these are the oils that you would not want to use in a bath. In fact, peppermint as well, you would not want to use in a bath. That might be too much. Again, you can use olive oil or almond oil, grapeseed. There's not a lot of different carrier oils that you can use, as well as aloe vera. It can also serve as a great carrier oil. Now, be sure not to use them directly on the skin undiluted. A lot of people will ask me, why is that? Well, because they can cause skin irritation, and you don't want to develop a problem with that, with redness or burning or itching or sensitization to the oils. So you want to stop using oils immediately if you develop any kind of irritation on the skin. Always be sure and wash your hands after handling essential oils as well. For sensitive skin, you want to make sure that you perform a new skin test if you're introducing a new oil to your skin. If you do develop some kind of irritation, then you definitely want to stop using it. So take a look at the skin patch test in order to perform that. You may want to do that on your client as well. If someone is pregnant, or if you're pregnant or nursing a baby, you definitely want to make sure that the oils that you're using are safe during that season of your life. Or if someone has high blood pressure, you want to look at the oils that are safe to use. If you're taking prescription medicines, or if your client is taking prescription drugs, then you want to check for the interaction between this medicine and the essential oils. And this is something that you want to make sure there's no interference between those two. It's always good to rotate your oils. You want to, not use one over and over and over. Maybe use one for a week or so and then switch to a different oil if you're using it in maybe a carrier oil or on a body lotion. And so those are just some of the tips, and you'll also want to check in your book on your lesson on essential oils storage and safety, so you'll know how to keep your oils safe. You want to store them in a dark glass bottle. You want to make sure you have the proper kind of top or cap on them all the time. Keep them in a nice cool place away from children. You always want to make sure you have labels on your oils so you know what the contents is. And you also may want to write down the date that you purchased the oil, or at least if you can find out from the manufacturer when the oil was obtained, so that you can know the exact date of when the oil was made, and that'll help you in knowing the shelf life of your oil. So always keep oils in dark bottles because of the glass, the light coming through. You just don't want to purchase oils that you find in those clear glass bottles, or if you're using a rubber top on it. When you're making products and you're using a carrier, that is okay, and you know that you're not going to have it around for a long time. If it's something that you're going to be using over a month or two, you may want to use a dark colored bottle for your product as well. So take a look at some of your essential oil safety tips, and you can read further online about this in your lessons.